So the question is how to compare strings. Imagine you have two strings, S1 and S2, and we would like to compare the two strings. If we have numbers, when we compare them by using equal, not equal, less than, we are talking about numbers. So if we say that 100 is less than 200, so that means when we order them, when we put them in order, 100 comes before 200. This is how it works on numbers. Now on strings, how it works. Strings are compared similar to numbers according to their places when they are ordered. If you look for a person telephone number, you pick the directory, and usually the directory, the names of people or contacts are ordered in alphabetical order. So for example, if you want to find a telephone number for a person called Hamid, then you know that the directory, the names are ordered in according to alphabetical orders. Names for A comes before B, comes before C. So you go directly to H to look for the contact or telephone number for Hamid. So we say that the names are ordered in alphabetical order. So comparing strings is basically depending on their orders. If we have two words, how to say that one word comes before the other word, we look at its place in alphabetical order. So we have three situations. Either the two strings are the same and we say equal, or the first string comes before the second string, or the first string comes after the second string. We will look at this by using the following example. Here we are having three variables. The two first variables are strings, and the last variable is integer. Remember that we said that strings are class-based variables and integers are primitive. And here we will show you the difference when we give you a picture of the memory when those variables have data. Let's go first for the strings. Here we have two strings. The first string has the data hi, the second string has the data hello, and the third integer has the value 3. Now remember that for strings, the characters are saved by codes, either ASCII code, which is 1 byte, or Unicode, 2 bytes. And remember that Java deals with Unicode, so each character needs 2 bytes. But for the demonstration here, I will assume that each letter is represented by 1 byte. First, this is a picture of the memory. Now we have the data hi, and hi is placed in the memory at address 6001, and the next character of the message hi is saved at 6002. And for the second data, which is hello, it is saved at address 9000, and for E, it is saved at 9001, and etc. The numbers inside the memory, they are byte-wise, they are the ASCII code. So 72 is the ASCII code of H, 105 is the ASCII code of I. So the data for the strings are saved in the memory at certain locations. Now what about S1 and S2? So S1 and S2 are the variables. What do they have? What do they hold? If you look at the memory inside, so this is S1 and this is S2, see what they are holding. They are not holding the data themselves, hi and hello. They are holding the address of the data. So this is a red color for the first data, which is hi, and the green color for the next string, which is hello. So we say that S1 and S2 holds the reference to the data, a reference marja. It does not hold the data directly. However, for the integer a, if you look inside the memory, see the variable a, it holds the data directly. It does not hold a reference to the data. So this is why we say a is a primitive and S1 and S2 are class-based, because they don't hold the actual data, they hold the reference. However, for a primitive, they hold the data directly. So what are the orderings we have on strings? As we said before, if you are looking for if you are looking for a name in a telephone directory, the names are ordered in alphabetical ordering. So what is alphabetical ordering and what is the other ordering available in comparing strings? Ordering strings that is based only on the letters, small letter and capital letter, it is called alphabetical ordering. And ordering that is based on ASCII code or Unicode, it's called lexicographic ordering. Now the difference when we compare the letters, you know that in English, small letter A is the same as capital letter A, but it depends on where we write it. So they represent the same letters. However, inside the memory, the small letter A, the code, is not the same code for capital letter A. So when we order letters based on ASCII code, the ordering is called lexicographic ordering. Here is an example. For example, when we say hello, H is in uppercase. And for the second hello, H is in lowercase. In alphabetical order, they represent the same words. So we say they are equal. However, in a lexicographical ordering, they are not the same because H has an ASCII code in uppercase different than H lowercase, the code for lowercase. If we look at the table for the ASCII code, we will notice that all uppercase codes are smaller than lowercase letters. So we have H capital letter, the ASCII code is smaller than H small letter. So we need to change our thinking of capital letter as large and H small letter as small. In ASCII code, the thinking is the opposite. The capital letters are smaller than small letters. So whenever we have a word that has small letters, their ASCII codes will be larger than a word that has capital letters. So how the computer compares strings? It compares strings letter by letter. First, it will check for H with H. If they are in alphabetical order, it goes to the next letter, E and E. And then it goes to L and L and etc. In lexicographical ordering, the word hello with capital letter comes before the word hello with the small letter. So we say that hello with capital letter is less than hello with a small letter. So in Java, how to deal with strings? If I want to compare strings, we must have tools to tell us which word comes before the other one. We should not do it by ourselves manually. If we have numbers, we use less than, we use greater than, we use equal, not equal. Now in strings, we are going to use methods instead. So we have three methods. We have equals, ignore case. These we will use them for equal and not equal. And we will have compare to, we will use them for less than, equal, greater than, or equal. Now, for strings, this is what you need to put in your mind. If you want to compare strings, never use the logical operators equal, not equal, less than, equal, greater than, equal that are used for numbers. These are used only for numbers. We cannot use them on strings. If you want to check for equality of two strings, you use the method equals or equals ignore case. If you want to compare which string comes before which other strings, you use compare to. So for equal, not equal, we have two methods, and for the remaining logical operators, we have compare to, and we will show you by a demonstration on how to use these methods. For equals and equals ignore case, the difference between the two is that equals depends on ASCII code, however equals ignore case depends on alphabetical ordering. So equals ignore case does not look for the differences in uppercase, lowercase. They look for the differences of the letters. So when we apply equals ignore case on these two words, the answer is true. But when we apply equals on these two strings, then the answer will be false. And also we will show you how to use compare to in Java, in JGrasp, how to use them to check less than, greater than, and etc. So let's go over these methods and their syntax. So we have three methods. In this column, we have the name of the method and shows you that compare to needs an input parameter for another string, and equals also needs an input, which is another string, and equals ignore case also needs an input as a string to use them. What do they return? Compare to, it returns an integer. However, equals ignore case, they return Boolean. Boolean, it means either true or false. Either two strings are equal or two strings are not equal. Let us see how we can use equals ignore case, and then we will show you how to use compare to when we go to JGrasp. The description for each of these methods is listed here. For equals, it says returns true if this string and a string, which is the input parameter, are equal. Otherwise, it returns false. And this depends on the ASCII code of the letters inside the two strings. And for equals ignore case, it also returns true or false, and depends on what is the input parameter a string. If both of them in alphabetical ordering are the same, then we say that they are equal and the return value will be true. So considering uppercase and lowercase of the letters to be the same, otherwise it returns false. Now for compare to, it returns a number. So when we compare two strings, we look at this number, if it is negative or positive or 0. Compares this string with a string, which is the input, and see which one comes first in lexicographical ordering. And we look at the return value. If it is negative, then the first string comes before. And if it is 0, they are equal. And if it is positive, then the first one comes after. So how to use them? Here is an example. If we have a string called s, and this is how to use equals. We say s dot equals, and we give the other string. So here we are comparing Java with Java, and here we have all of them have the same letters, and since it uses lexicographical ordering and they have exactly the same letters, so the return value will be true. And for equals ignore case, we use it the same, and you just simply write s, which is the string, dot, and then the method equals ignore case, and you put the other string inside it. When you use compare to, the first string is s, the second string is the input. So we compare the string s with the input, which one comes before the other one. And we can do this by going to JGrasp to show you how these methods work. So let's go to JGrasp. To show you how comparing string methods are working, I have prepared the following program. Here we are going to read two strings. We call them word1 and word2. So let us first read these two words from the user. So we will ask the user by saying, please enter two words. Enter two words. And we are going to read these two words from the same line. So we need to remove ln. And you know that for reading a complete word, we use next only, and this is word 1, and we are going to read word 2 the same. So word 2 is equal to n also dot next. So next will read a complete word, and we will read two words by one message, enter two words. First, we would like to show you how to use equals, not equals ignore case, equals. So here we are going to say using equals method. And remember that this method depends or relies on lexicographical ordering. That means it depends on the ASCII codes of the letters in the words or in the strings. So we will use this method to compare the two strings. So we will say f, and then we write the condition to check whether the two words input by the user are equal or not. Now, how to use this method? In every string, you must have these methods defined inside. So we have these methods defined in word 1 and word 2. These methods are equals, equals ignore case, and compare to in addition to the other methods. Since we have two words, so we can pick one of these words and use its equals method to compare it with the other words. I'm going to use equals that is inside word 1. And remember that there is also equals method in word 2. So how to use this method? First, you need to bring the string name, which is word 1, dot, and then you call the method equals. And between input parameter, you put the second string, which is word 2. You can do this also by calling the method of word 2. So you can say if word 2 dot equals, and you put word 1 as input parameter. So you can use the method for one string and put the other string as input. If this is the case, then we are going to print a message by saying that the first word, which is word 1, or simply I need to display a message using equals to tell us that the output is coming from equals. Using equals method, we will say that word 1 is equal to word 2. And if they are not equal, we will put else. I will just copy this line, Control C, and I will copy it down, Control V, and I'm going to say is not equal to. This is how it works. You use equals, and remember, you cannot use equal because equal is used for numbers. You have to use the method equals to check whether two strings are equal or not. If this method returns true, so we will print that the two words are equal, otherwise we will print the two words are not equal. Now we would like to see how equals ignore case work. So I will copy the same code, Control C, and then I will paste it down, but I will change the methods names equals ignore case. You have to remember the name of the methods, the spelling, and this depends on alphabetical ordering, which means the ordering depends only on the letters, not capital letters, small letters, and etc. So we will say that equals ignore case, and remember also you can use equal ignore case of the other string. So equals ignore case. Spelling mistake, ignore. Okay, but this is a comment. We don't have a problem, but we have to make sure that the spelling is correct in this if statement. So using equals ignore case, and here we have using equals ignore case. If the method returns true, then the two words are equal, otherwise the two words are not equal. Now let us run the program and see how it works. So we will run it, and here we are going to enter two words. Then the first word we will say hi, H small letter, and hi H is capital letter. Remember that in English, as English words, they are the same, although the first one starts with uppercase, lowercase, and the second one starts with uppercase. So equals will retain false because they are not exactly the same as an ASCII code in lexicographical ordering, but equals ignore case will return true because they are the same words. When we press enter and see now equals, it says hi is not equal to hi. Why? Because it checks the characters according to their ASCII codes, and you know that H small letter and H capital letters don't have the same ASCII code. However, equals ignore case, it tells us that they are equal because they have the same spelling regardless of whether they have small letters or capital letters. Now we will go to compare method. These two methods, equals and equals ignore case, we use them for equality and not equal to. Suppose I would like to check whether two words are not equal. You know that for numbers we use exclamation mark equal. Now in strings we cannot use equals equals, we cannot use not equal. What if I want to check whether two words are not equal? Now here we are testing for equality. If you want to check for not equal, simply in front of the method, you put the exclamation mark which represents not. So you can read it as not. So here you are saying if word 1 not equals word 2. So this is how to say not equal using strings. Now for compare to will be used for which one comes before the other one. In other words, if they are numbers, then which one is smaller than the other one. So if the first word comes before the second word, informally we will say that the first word is less than second word because it comes before that. So how to use the method? Remember that the method retains a number. If this number is negative, then the word is less than the input parameter, and if it is greater than, then the string is greater than the input parameter, and if it is equal to 0, they are equal. So how to use this method? So here we will say compare to is used to check which string comes before the other string. And remember, it retains an integer. This integer can be used to check whether two strings, one comes after the other one or they are equal. So let us first save the return value that is returned from compare to into a variable, and then we will check for this variable less than, greater than, or equal to 0. So we will say compare return. This is short for compare return, and we will save inside it the return value when we use compare to. Again, for any string, compare to will exist in all of these strings. You can use compare to in word 1, or you can use compare to in word 2. But use compare to in one string and put the other string as an input parameter to this method. So here we will say word 1 dot compare to, and T should be capital letter, and put word 2 as an input to the method. Here, like informally, but we are saying if word 1 less than word 2. This is informally, okay, because we cannot use less than for strings. But if you want to compare or make it similar to numbers, this code, when you say word 1 compared to word 2, in fact, you are testing whether word 1 is less than or equal, less than word 2, because not equal if it is equal to 0. So here we will say if compare return value is less than 0, and then we will print a message system.out.println, and we will say that word 1 comes before, and here we will say word 2. Else, if the return value, which is compare return, is greater than 0. So again, this is similar to saying word 1 greater than word 2. Then I will copy this code, this statement, and then I will paste it in here. And here we will say word 1 comes after word 2. And this is similar to here, this code here is similar to by saying informally again. Here by you are saying that if word 1 is greater than word 2, then we will print that word 1 comes after word 2. Remember here, or make just as a point here, when we say word 1 comes before word 2, it is similar by saying word 2 comes after, okay, word 1. Or when we say word 1 comes after word 2, it is similar by saying word 2 comes before word 1. Now, last, else what is the remaining condition available is that if it is equal to 0. So if it is equal to 0, then word 1 is the same word, or equals to word 2. Although we don't say equal for words, we say they are the same words. Now we would like to test our program and see how it works. We run it. We will give the same words. We will say hello, and we will say hello. Exactly the same letters. So equals will be true. They are equal. Equals ignore case will be true. And compare to also will tell us they are the same because the return value will be equal to 0. So press enter and see all of them. They say that they are equal. Hello is equal to hello. Hello is equal to hello. And hello is equal to hello. Now we will run it again. But we will give different words. Here we have a semicolon in the output. Probably we can correct it by saying from the beginning we have a colon. So run the program again. So enter 2 words. If you say chicken and kitchen. So these are totally different words. And remember that computers don't look for the size of the words. They check letter by letter. Now C is a small letter and K is small letter. And you know, in alphabetical order, small letter C comes before small letter K. So equals, okay, will return false because they are not equal. And equals ignore case also will return false because they are not equal. But for compare to, it will tell us that chicken comes before kitchen. So notice here it says chicken comes before kitchen. Let us run the program again on other input. But here I'm going to write hi and hello. So this one has 2 letters and this one has 5 letters, but we don't go by the size, the number of letters. The computer checks letter by letter. Now first it will check H with H, so they are equal. Then it will check I with E. And you know that in alphabetical order, also in lexicographical order, because it will check for the ASCII codes. And they are the same case. Both of them are small letters. So we know that I comes after E in alphabetical order. Then the word hi is greater than the word hello. That means when we put them in order, hi will comes after hello. Of course, they are not equal. So both equals and equals ignore case will return false. Now we press enter and see it says hi comes after hello. Now we will reverse and we will put hello before hi. We will run the program again. And then here we will say hello and then we will say hi. And now it will say that hello comes before hi, depends on the return value of compare to. So this is how we use compare to by testing the return value. Now we are using compare to temporarily here. You can use it directly, by the way, into the if statement. So I will just copy it, I will cut it, and I will replace compare return by the call. And here we are saying, okay, that if informally, if word 1 less than word 2, and also I will replace this also compare to by the call of the method. And we will remove this variable because we don't need it, although it was correct. And we will remove the variable because we don't need it. We are just using it temporarily in the if statement. Run the program. And then we will say Thursday. And we will say thirsty. Okay. So we have TH, we have TH, and you have U and you have I. So this word Thursday will come after thirsty, so we press enter. So Thursday comes after thirsty according to compare to. And this is how the 3 operations work when we compare 2 strings. For equality, not equal, we use equals, equals, ignore case. And for less than, greater than, or equal, we use compare to.